All right. So now we're doing free code camp, legacy Python for everybody, introduction, the third introduction, Python as a language. All right. Let me grab the old logo and slap it down here in the corner. And we've got the notes open over here. So we'll be referring to them. And let me get my headphones on. All right. Let's get to it.
Hello and welcome back to Python as a language. You'll notice that I'm wearing a hat.
Yeah, we are noticing
and part of the story of the hat is that where I work here at the University of Michigan School of Information, my office is in this building called North Quad, and we call it quadwarts sometimes because it's sort of got a square. It sort of imitates an Oxford quad, and so it seemed to me to evoke notions of Harry Potter. And when we first moved into the building, I joked in one of my classes that we should have a sorting ceremony for all the students as they come into North Quad for the first time. And so that was cool, and I thought that I would belong in...
He's using the word cool very loosely, just to let you know.
Gryffindor, like everyone wants to be in Gryffindor, right? They're the good guys. And my students told me that I couldn't be in Gryffindor, that I had to be in Slytherin. So you'll see me drinking tea throughout the course out of this teacup. It's my Slytherin teacup. I picked that up from Harry Potter World. I went down to Florida and visited Harry Potter World. And the reason that I am... was sorted by my students into Slytherin is also because I teach Python.
That's a good one, Dr. Chuck. All right, let's type this stuff out. I can't believe I didn't see that one coming. Anyway, let's type this stuff out. All right. Parcel tongue. Oh, this is not going to be typed out. Never mind. That's
and Python is like a snake. And so if you think about the people from Slytherin, they are capable of talking to snakes. And the class that we were doing the sorting was a Python class. And so it sort of made perfect sense that you would have to be in Slytherin if you were the Python teacher. And of course, your name is Charles Severance, and then that sounds kind of like Severus Snape, and so I just accepted that I'm in Slytherin.
Why didn't they just make a random... Anyway, that's so arbitrary. They should have just made a random number sorter, and then, no, a random house sorter and whatever, or even, who cares?
You all can be in Gryffindor, but I can't. I'm in Slytherin. So I'm the bad guy, or the good guy, depends on how you look at it, right? And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to, bring you into Slytherin as well, because I'm going to teach you the Python.
There we go. Now we can type something, I think. Let's see what, let's type this up. So Python is, let me bring this up a little. Python is the language of the Python interpreter and those who can converse with it. I'm going to put 3 dots because that's so lame. An individual who can speak Python. I don't think we need to type that. It is a very uncommon skill. It's not hereditary. Nearly on Pythonistas, I'm not calling myself that. Use software. It doesn't, okay, none of that matters. All right, let's get rid of this. Okay.
Python language. Python is the language that we Pythonistas talk. It was invented over 20 years ago by a fellow named Guido van Rossum.
I'm not an...
And away we go.
I'm not an any kind of Easter, all right? Not any day of the week.
Now, even though I'm using this whole snake Slytherin thing, it turns out that Python was not at all named for Harry Potter, because Python was invented, almost 2 decades before Harry Potter was created, and it wasn't for the snake. It was actually Monty Python's Flying Circus was the inspiration for Python, the name Python, and because Guido van Rossum really wanted to create a programming language that, while it was powerful underneath it in its very nature, was a very powerful language. He wanted it to be a language that was fun, and he wanted it to be a language that was approachable. And so that's why Python recently has become so absolutely popular, and it's easy to learn, and but it's also powerful, and that's sort of the magic of Python, is the ease of learning.
No such thing as magic.
The brevity of the programs, the shortness of the programs, and the power. And so we are going to become Pythonistas.
No, we're going to become people that use the Python coding language to do stuff. All right. If you want to be a Pythonista, that's your business. All right. Early learner syntax error. Let's read this before we type it. We need to learn the Python language so we can communicate our instructions to Python. In the beginning, we will make lots of mistakes and speak gibberish like small children. No, we won't. It'll be lots of mistakes, and we'll get good. When we make a mistake, the computer does not think we are cute. It says syntax error, given that it knows the language and we are just learning it. Okay. It seems like Python is cruel and unfeeling. It's just who is this? Was this made in a safe space? We must remember that we are intelligent and can learn. Okay. The computer is simple and very fast, but cannot learn. So it is easier for us to learn Python than for the computer to learn English. Okay.
As you learn to be a software developer using the Python programming language, you are going to encounter syntax errors. And I remember when I used to get syntax errors, and I remember my first programming class, and I would type on cards. And I would upload those cards to the computer, and the computer would say, "You're not worthy." And I'm like, wait a sec, those are pretty good cards. How could you be so critical of me? I'd say syntax error. And I really got sort of a really bad attitude that somehow this computer didn't like me, and that I would make cards, it would complain, and I would make changes to the cards. And
I can't believe that he's saying this right now. He's got to be lying. There's no way back in the 60s that or the 30s or the 20s or 1854 that anybody was that soft. I swear. This guy's just making it up because there's so many wiener kids. When was this made? 5 years ago? In 2019.
And it would still complain, and I make changes and it would still complain. I'm like, how can I win in this situation? And you're going to feel the same thing. You're going to absolutely feel the same thing.
No, we're not. We've been doing this for a long time.
Struggling. You're going to be like, how come this computer hates me?
No, we're not.
Let me assure you right now, the computer doesn't hate you. The computer actually loves you. It just is not very good at showing how it loves you, or telling you how or...
I'm sorry, guys, but I have to say these things because this is just such crap. This is just such crap pouring out of this man's lying mouth. Computers don't feel. Computers don't love. You know this. I know this. We don't need to be saying this to people, okay? This is just something that this person that works at a university has been conditioned to say because that's what those clowns do to people, I guess. I don't know.
Why it loves you. And so syntax errors are not so much Python telling you that you're bad or that you're an inadequate programmer or you should find something else to do. It's really Python's admission that it doesn't understand what you're trying to say. And so you got to get used to that. And it's frustrating, but you got to get used to the fact that syntax errors are your friend. Python is saying, hey, I got to line 7 and I was doing fine up to line 7, but boy, in line 7 there's some little thing. I don't know what the word else means in this context, or you didn't indent it, and so I'm kind of confused. What did you mean? Please, please, please help me. And so it's so much easier for you to learn Python than it is for Python to figure out what you mean when you're writing code. So we have a number of different ways to sort of encode our instructions when we talk to Python. One is we just run Python interactively on our computer. Hopefully by now you've got it installed, and you just type Python at a command prompt. So either a Windows command prompt or a Linux command prompt or a Macintosh command prompt. And I got some examples of how to sort of get this all started, get Python installed, and away you go. Now you'll notice when you run the Python interpreter, the
all right. So I guess we have to do that thing like we did the other day. Apple. The guy died of a flu. Look at this crap. Look at this BS right here. What a piece of crap. Anyway, right now let's download that thing. Let's figure out how to do that stuff that they were saying the other day. Y program right here. So let's install Python on Windows. If you got a Mac, you know what to do. We're not going to even bother going over that. We're going over to Windows. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Hello, and welcome to my video.
Whoa.
That shows how to get started and install Python on my 3.5.2. You already downloaded it. Video.
All right, we're going to have to make a whole new video for that. All right, let's go back to the Hat Man. I swear I hate it when people go and talk like that. I hate that.
Hello, and welcome in class. Yeah. Struggling, you're going to be like, and so you got it. So I'm kind of, when you run the Python interpreter, the 3 chevron prompt, Python is asking you what next, right? This is you. It's saying, I want to talk to you. I want you to tell me some Python to do. If you know the Python language, you know what to say right here. Now, if you know Python, you can type these languages. You can say, oh, x equals 1, which really means go find a little piece of memory, label it x, and stick 1 in it. Print x is like, go find that thing where you labeled it x and bring me back that number and tell me what I stored in there. Now, why you want to do this, that's a different question. These are very simple things. It's going to take you a while to get the big picture of why we're doing this. So just trust me that you want to learn these statements, and then later we will successfully turn those into a program. So x equals x plus 1, the third line there. X equals x plus 1 is not, as it seems in math, it basically says, hey, go grab the old value of x, add 1 to it, and stick it back in x. That's what that means. So an equal sign really has kind of an arrow to it. And then we say, hey, go look up that x thing that we just did and print that out, and then we're going to say quit. So that's us talking to Python. Now, you can type just about any crazy stuff you want in here, and Python will be unhappy and talk to you. So what we're going to do next is we're going to start talking about the actual language of Python and what it is that we have to say to make Python happy when we're talking to it.
Okay, cool. We'll get on that later. What we're going to do now, I'm going to upload this and I'm going to edit it and upload this. But after that, we'll go back to that other thing. This thing, I'll make a full video on this, because I don't know why we didn't start with this one, but whatever. It is what it is, right? Anyway, so let's do this. What will print out after running these 2 lines of code? X equals 6, print X. 6 will, because we know. We've been doing this for a while. Check the code, looks good, and submit it. All right, so now we're on to introduction elements of Python. And we'll see you next time.